All right, today we're diving into a really fascinating study that pretty much flips the script on how we think about using data in a small business. So, if you're running an SME or managing one, and you're trying to figure out how to actually make analytics work for you, then you are going to want to stick around. So, here's the thing we've all been told. You gotta start at the top, right? The big picture. It just feels right. You have to figure out your 5 year plan before you do anything else. You need that grand vision. But what if that's actually the exact opposite of what small businesses should be doing? Okay, so to really get why this is such a big deal, we first need to talk about small and medium sized enterprises, or SMEs. These businesses are, and I'm not exaggerating, the absolute backbone of our economy. I mean, just look at this. It's staggering. We're talking about 90% of all businesses on the planet. They create half of all jobs worldwide. So when SMEs win, we all win. It's really that simple. But here's the problem. There's this massive gap. You see, 80% of the big guys, the huge corporations, they're all in on business intelligence or BI. But for smaller companies, it's only 22%. That's not just a tech gap. That's a growth gap, a productivity gap. It's a real issue. So, how do we fix this? How can smaller businesses even begin to close that gap? Well, the study we're digging into today breaks it all down for us in a really clear way, splitting decisions into 3 different levels. Let's use an analogy. Think of your business like a ship out on the ocean. You've got the captain, who's deciding on the final destination. You've got the navigator, who's actually plotting the course. And then you have the crew, the ones managing the sails and keeping everything running day to day. Okay, first up, strategic BI. This is the captain's view. We're talking long-term, big picture stuff, looking through the telescope at the horizon. Where are we going to be in 5 years? Should we expand into a new country? That kind of thing. Then you've got tactical BI. This is the navigator's job. They're focused on the medium term, the next few months, maybe the next quarter. They're asking questions like, how do we get the resources for this marketing campaign? Or are we on the right track to hit our yearly goals? And finally, we have operational BI. This is the crew down on the deck, in the thick of it. This is the here and now. What are our inventory levels looking like today? Is that machine running at peak efficiency right now? These are the immediate decisions that keep the ship afloat. And this table just lays it all out perfectly. You can see how we go from a time horizon of years all the way down to daily actions. And the goal shifts from broad direction to immediate efficiency. Now, all three are obviously important, but if you're an SME and you don't have unlimited time and money, the million-dollar question is, where do you start? And this is where it gets really, really interesting. A groundbreaking study from 2025 actually went out and found the answer. They talked to 186 managers at SMEs to figure this out once and for all. And frankly, what they discovered might shock you. So the core question they asked was simple. When you use data at these 3 different levels, strategic, tactical, and operational, where does it actually make the biggest difference in how good your decisions are? And here it is. The answer is an absolute game changer. The study found that operational BI, focusing on the day-to-day, has the biggest impact on decision quality. And look at that chart. It's not even close. This completely turns that old strategy-first idea on its head, especially for small businesses. And we're not talking about a tiny little effect here. Their model showed that using BI at these 3 levels could explain over 63% of the improvement in decision quality. That is a massive number. It proves that using data, especially at the operational level, just fundamentally changes the game. So the big question is, why? Why is focusing on the nitty-gritty, the day-to-day stuff, so incredibly powerful? Well, it all comes down to what it's actually like to run a small or medium-sized business. Look, if you're running an SME, you know that time and money are everything. You don't have the luxury to wait around for a 5-year plan to pay off. Focusing on operations gives you quick wins you can see and feel. It builds a data-driven mindset from the bottom up, with the people who are actually doing the work. You get immediate feedback, you see improvements right away, and you become faster and more agile. It's about making your business better today. So what's the takeaway for you? This study doesn't just give us a cool fact. It gives us a brand new playbook for how SMEs should think about data. Okay, here it is, a simple 3-step guide. Step 1, start with a magnifying glass, not a telescope.
Pick one single, core, daily thing you do and use data to make it better. Step 2, get really good at that day-to-day stuff. And step 3, once you've built that solid foundation of excellence, then you can let those real-world results shape your big, long-term strategy.
I mean, this slide just nails it, doesn't it? The old myth was all about grabbing a telescope and trying to predict the future. The new playbook, backed by data, is about grabbing a magnifying glass and perfecting what you're doing right now. It's about building a fantastic ship piece by piece before you try to sail to a whole new continent. And it's so important to remember what this quote says. Every little step you take with data isn't a cost. It's not a waste of time. It's an investment in your company's future. You're building a smarter, faster, and just plain better business from the inside out. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Just for a second, forget about the grand 5-year plan. Think about tomorrow. What is the one daily operational decision in your business that data could totally transform? Because finding the answer to that question might just be the start of your own data revolution.